There is a place in America hiding many peculiar things, where couples need to be cautious in front of the mother's witness, or even crazier, celebrate 100 New Year's festivities in just a short year. Hard to believe, isn't it? I know you can't imagine why such bizarre things happen, but don't worry, everything will be clarified in a few minutes because this is a video about 15 prohibitions and strange things that only exist in Colombia. Number 14. Wedding night must be witnessed by the bride's mother. Imagine you're about to do something with your wife, and her mother suddenly shows up and stays there all night to watch you and your husband. It is probably the most embarrassing and uncomfortable feeling for anyone. But in Colombia, this is a very normal thing, and any young person getting married will have to go through something like this. In traditional Colombian custom, the wedding night must be performed in the presence of the bride's mother. According to Colombian beliefs, the supervision of the mother is very helpful when young couples are inexperienced in marriage. The mother will sit and observe the newlyweds on their wedding night. She will immediately provide necessary instructions if their actions seem clumsy. In this way, the relationship between the couple will be strengthened by harmony and love. According to Colombians, this helps the marital bond become stronger and last longer. It seems its purpose is to be good for the young couple, but it seems to bring more embarrassment and trouble than benefit. Number 13. Ban on iPhones. Colombia is the only country to ban Apple's iPhone and iPad products, preventing the company, its subsidiaries and partners from importing, marketing and even advertising certain connected iPhone and iPad models, specifically those with 5G capabilities. This ban will cause the iPhone 12 and 13 models, as well as the new 5G-enabled iPad, to be suspended from sale in Colombia. The judge also instructed local customs authorities to stop importing similar items, and Apple was ordered to contact online and offline businesses, as well as social media platforms, to stop selling and advertising the affected iPhone and iPad models in the market. Additionally, the Colombian court issued an anti-suit injunction. According to the terms, this prevents Apple from using a court in another country to force Ericsson to relax its import and sales ban in Colombia. The reason Colombia banned these products is because Apple's 5G-connected products were facing a lawsuit with a Swedish company, Ericsson. The dispute concerns licensing payments for certain 5G standard essential patents. Apple admitted that the patents were genuine but argued that Ericsson was charging too much for them. Number 12. Junk food law. Snacking is a hobby for many people, but if you are one of them, it's best not to go to Colombia. This Latin American country was one of the first in the world to impose a health tax targeting processed foods, otherwise known as the junk food law. After years of campaigning, the junk food law came into effect this month, and the tax will be introduced gradually. Additional taxes on unhealthy foods will start at 10%, then increase to 15% next year, and reach 20% in 2025. The tax targets ultra-processed products, defined as industrially produced ready-to-eat foods, as well as those high in salt and saturated fat, such as chocolate or crisps. Colombian diets are high in sodium, which is linked to an increase in cardiovascular diseases such as stroke and heart failure, which cause nearly a quarter of deaths annually. The average Colombian consumes 12 grams of salt per day, the highest rate in Latin America and among the highest in the world. Nearly 1/3 of adults in this country have high blood pressure. Other non-communicable diseases are linked to diet and obesity, such as diabetes, with more than 1/3 of deaths from diabetes occurring under the age of 70. Increasing taxes on these products is a way for people to reduce consumption of these items and improve public health. Number 11. River of Seven Colors. Coming to Colombia, one place you cannot miss is this country's famous seven-colored river, Cano Cristales. The Cano Cristales River in Colombia is known as a river flowing from heaven. The Cano Cristales River is located in Meta Province, Colombia. Every year, this river attracts thousands of visitors because of its magical colors that seem to contain the entire galaxy within it. Thanks to its magical colors, Cano Cristales is also called the River of Seven Rainbow Colors by indigenous people. The name of the river, Cano Cristales, means glass flow, perhaps because, under the sunlight, each river section has its own color, making visitors think of a cut of glass refracting sunlight to the viewer's eyes. Previously, scientists believed that Cano Cristales had such colorful colors because it was formed by algae and moss from hundreds of millions of years ago that still adhered to the riverbed to create this unique beauty. Recently, scientists have offered another explanation. The reason the river has colors like this rainbow strip is because of an aquatic species with the scientific name. This aquatic species changes color depending on sunlight and water temperature. With the right temperature and climate, Cano Cristales is at its most brilliant between June and December every year. Cano Cristales is isolated from the outside and is a peaceful place for tourists to immerse themselves in nature. Many regulations are set by the Colombian government so this rainbow river retains its original captivating beauty, such as welcoming a maximum of 200 visitors per day, a tour group of no more than 7 people, limited swimming range, and clearly designated river sections for tourist sightseeing and relaxation. For stylish girls, this place will not be suitable for swimming because the Colombian government completely prohibits tourists from diving into the river when using sunscreen or body lotion. Besides, with the purpose of protecting this river from pollutants, Colombia closes the tourist area from January to May so that nature can regenerate itself and become more beautiful. When June arrives, if you have the opportunity to go to Colombia during the change of season, don't miss the opportunity to visit the Cano Cristales River. Surely it will be the most unforgettable experience of your life. Continuing our journey to discover the natural beauty of Colombia, let's go to another extremely famous place, Guatavita, the Golden Lake. Guatavita Lake is a freshwater lake located about 60 kilometers north of Bogotá, the country's capital. This lake has a very special history and legend related to the legendary Golden City El Dorado. Guatavita Lake is closely related to the legend of El Dorado, a legend about a mystical land rich in gold in South America. According to legend, the lord or king of a nearby tribe would offer gold to the gods by releasing gold and precious stones into the lake. Gold offerings were performed by the indigenous Muisca people in Guatavita Lake. They believed that offering gold would please the lake spirit and protect the tribe from disaster. The area around Lake Guatavita contains archaeological remains, including museums and other buildings. Archaeological objects and relics show the wealth and developed culture of this tribe. Lake Guatavita is protected and managed as a National Cultural Heritage Site of Colombia. Tourists can enjoy visiting this area, but gold offerings have been banned to protect the environment and historical sites. However, the legend of the Golden City still makes many people risk diving into the waters of Lake Guatavita with the dream of changing their lives. Unfortunately, the explorations have not yielded positive results. Number 8. It's forbidden to go to indigenous villages. Colombia is a racially diverse country. It has many ancient tribes that are used to living separately from the world, tired of the curiosity of the modern world. Indigenous people in many Colombian villages have had to ban tourists from coming here. Now tourists wanting to visit Colombian villages will be greeted by guards armed with sticks, ready to stop tourists. With the rise of ecotourism, along with Colombia, Peru, and Brazil, this part of the Amazon has seen floods of tourists coming to experience some of the most diverse flora and fauna on the planet. Tens of thousands of backpackers are attracted by ecotourism and the opportunity to witness firsthand the long-standing traditional lives of indigenous people. Guests come here to swing with monkeys, swim with the famous pink dolphins, frolic in the Amazon waves, fish for piranhas, hike through tropical forests, and soak up the sunset on the majestic Amazon River. But the people here feel bothered. They don't need money from tourists and don't want to be pointed at, photographed, or have any contact. That's why they decided to chase away all curious people from far away. Number 7. Many of the most beautiful women in the world. Colombia is famous for being the country that produces the most beautiful women in the world. According to a large-scale poll of 45,000 men and more than 66,000 women on the website, Mistral Colombia ranked 4th on the list of the top 10 countries with the sexiest women. In 2013, they suddenly surpassed Brazil to hold the highest position on this list. 3 typical Colombian beauty representatives are singer Shakira, actress and model Sofia Vergara, and beauty queen Paulina Vega. They have features that represent the impressive beauty of Colombian women: a plump and vibrant body, plump buttocks, shiny brown skin, attractive faces with deep eyes and plump lips, long and straight legs and soft curves. The special thing is that women in this country have the ability to maintain a toned and sexy figure for a long time. At the age of 40, even 50, many Colombian women still maintain beautiful, vibrant bodies. According to anthropological documents, Colombian women are fortunate to have inherited excellent bone structure, and thanks to that, their measurements are also very balanced. Colombians also admit that the distribution of fat and muscles in their upper body, legs, and buttocks is very ideal. This helps their midsection stay neat while their buttocks and hips expand, making their body curves extremely feminine. Blessed with beautiful bones, Colombian women tend to prefer moderately toned bodies rather than overly muscular physiques. Colombian beauty standards are a lean body with an ideal fat ratio instead of an overly athletic body with a low fat ratio. Therefore, if they exercise, they will not exercise too hard. Many Colombian beauties have naturally attractive bodies without much exercise. Number 6. Forest of Death, Darien Gap. Darien Gap, located on the border of Panama and Colombia, is the route chosen by many migrants to find the United States. This unwholesome environment has claimed the lives of many migrants. However, Darien Gap is also a place where adventurous people come to explore. These two stories, two contrasting situations in the wilderness, have raised many questions about the migration crisis, as well as the ethics of organizing adventure trips. Tourists are simply looking for a sense of adventure, but in this place, a contrary scene exists. Migrants from Venezuela, Ecuador, and their families lead each other through the jungle amid countless dangers to find America. The fast-flowing river water can claim lives at any time. The forest roads are bumpy and difficult, the swamps are slippery, and there is also the risk of encountering groups of road robbers. Some humanitarian aid groups have criticized adventure tourism in Darien Gap, saying these trips are inappropriate and downplay the severity of the migration crisis. Tourists and migrants rarely encounter each other on this journey. If there is such a rare opportunity, it must be a strange arrangement of facts. Number 5. Country of Mercenaries. Colombia is the land of beautiful girls and wonderful natural landscapes, but it is also the birthplace of many notorious mercenaries. Colombian soldiers are carefully trained, but their lives are not guaranteed after retirement. So they often accept offers to work as mercenaries in many countries around the world, according to officials and military experts. For those looking for mercenaries, Colombia is a popular choice. Nearly 60 years of civil war in this Central American country have created a force of well-trained soldiers. People in elite counter-terrorism units can retire in their 40s with meager pensions and few opportunities to find other careers. The USA is an important customer of Colombian veterans, sending them to fight Iran-backed Houthi forces in Yemen or supporting forces in Panama, El Salvador, and Chile. Veterans from Latin America only get a fraction of what American or British veterans do, but the income is also 4 times higher than their pension. Colombian soldiers with experience in counterinsurgency, urban terrorism, or who have been sent for training in countries such as the United States and Israel, are often targeted by recruiters, a military source said. All Colombian men are required to serve at least 1 year in the Army or National Police Force, although some who attend college can pay to be exempt from service. Becoming a professional soldier is one of the few options for people from humble backgrounds, especially in rural areas disproportionately affected by conflict. They are paid low wages, do dangerous work, and are far from relatives. They have been the subject of criticism from the military, accused of human rights abuses. Number 4. Social instability. Colombia is considered one of the most unstable countries in the world. Drugs and other evils are rampant in this country. Colombia has long faced problems of violence and crime, especially related to drug trafficking and organized crime. Organized criminal groups often cause violence, affecting security in many areas. The Colombian government faces many problems in the management process. This has also caused protests and social movements to occur in Colombia, especially by protesters who want to express their anger at the economic situation. Some protests may lead to conflict and clashes with security forces. The gap between rich and poor, as well as between urban and rural areas, also causes social instability and increases protest situations. Colombia has also made efforts to resolve the above problems and is gradually restoring stability. However, this country is still not a good place for you to live in the long term. Number 3. TED Days. The country of Colombia in South America has more than 1,000 national Tet holidays a year, meaning that, on average, there are nearly 3 Tet holidays every day. The Tet holidays of Colombia are divided into small groups: Tet of the god of agriculture, religious Tet of each ethnic group, Tet of male and female beauty contests, and Tet of the coffee harvest. The agricultural Tet, established over 100 years ago, is the most typical Tet of the Colombian people. Starting on January 5th, it is the biggest national Tet celebrated by everyone: adults, children, young, and old. The most enthusiastic response of the year in this country occurs during the days of Tet. All the boys and girls of all ethnicities and localities in the country dress very beautifully and elegantly, then take to the streets to sing and dance. They mix pots of black and white powder and throw it on passers-by. Then, at the end of the day, they go to the river to bathe and return home. Now, a popular New Year's custom in Colombia is the custom of burning the old year. This custom involves the entire family burning Mr. Old Year. It is a traditional custom of Colombian people during the New Year. Everyone in the family together makes a very large effigy called Mr. Old Year. Then they stuff it inside with unnecessary things, especially things that can remind them of sad memories from the past year. Everything will be burned on New Year's Eve. This custom represents the Colombian people's desire to wash away the unpleasant events of the past year and welcome the new year with optimism. Overall, these are the happiest days of the year for Colombians, and they take this time extremely seriously. Number 2. Being late is a custom in Colombia. Being late to an event or somewhere is quite normal. Colombians are very relaxed about this issue. No matter how punctual you are, you must respect their culture and habits. Being 15 or 20 minutes late is not considered late. Some cultures, including Colombian, tend to have a more flexible view of time. This means that being a little late can be considered acceptable, and there is usually not much pressure to be on time. Due to their leisurely lifestyle, combined with Colombia's congested traffic or simply stopping to talk to a friend in the middle of the street, locals neither expect nor appreciate punctuality. Communication and party plans are often affected by the above situations. So, the party host considers it a polite attitude to hold the party later than the party opening time. That has become an unwritten law in this country. Number 1. The secret to happiness. If you ask 100 Colombians if they are happy, you'll definitely get 100 of the same answer: yes. Colombians are music and dance lovers. They believe that money may be a necessary thing in life, but it is not the most important. Their culture is to appreciate and be satisfied with what is currently available. According to a 2012 survey, 87% of Colombians said they were very happy, and 92% said they were unhappy. This has caused Colombia to have a happiness index of up to 85%, 20% higher than the global happiness index, and twice that of the US. In the years that followed, Colombia continued to repeatedly rank on the list of the happiest countries in the world. So what makes this country happy? There are many questions that arise, such as, does Colombia have the best quality of life and healthcare system, high job prospects? They have the highest life expectancy and low risk of disease. However, all of these are not factors that make Colombia happy. It is known that the South American country has up to 1,000 festivals a year, such as Carnaval Barranquilla, the most important folk culture festival in Colombia, and one of the largest carnivals in the world. Then, there are the wonderful flower displays in the Feria de las Flores, or the colorful parade of Caribbean coastal residents in the Festival del Mar. The above is possible because this is a country with many ethnicities and cultures. Different traditional cultures are all respected by the Colombian government in free harmony in all aspects of ethnic belief and culture. Not only that, in Colombia, music is present everywhere, such as train stations, bus stations, pedestrian tunnels, supermarkets, or on the streets. The most typical is the largest walking street in Colombia, many kilometers long, and always visited by tens of thousands of people. Like in many other places, the most visible thing here is the borderless presence of music freelance singers, organized bands of a few members. All of them are people with a mission to inspire music to those around them. Colombia is also a country famous for its dances, including the ravishingly beautiful salsa dance. Salsa helps people overcome inequality with its captivating rhythm and the sublimation of love. It helps people become closer because it requires them to hug each other for a period and make eye contact, helping them get to know each other and see the best in each other. It is a cultural heritage of peace. Most outsiders know that Colombia is a country that still has violence, poverty, drugs, corruption, human trafficking, and war that can break out at any time. For more than 50 years, conflicts between the government and the rebel group FARC, or ELN, have persisted. While peace negotiations went on endlessly, it seems that the chaos and unpredictability of life in the future build courage and optimism, and perhaps play an important role in the happiness of Colombians. For most Colombians, nothing is more important than family, friends, and fun. It can be said that Colombian people have never lost their optimism and resilience. The suffering still happens, but they continue with their lives, sitting on the street, cooking chicken stew in a large pot, drinking wine and laughing with their families and neighbors. They love life so much that every morning they can wake up and say, "I feel quite happy today." Colombia is not only home to historical treasures and traditional cultures but is also a progressive country facing challenges and changes. All of this creates a colorful and unique image, with a regular and strange blend, to create a unique picture of Colombia. Hopefully you have found it interesting and encountered many new things through this video. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned to discover more about strange things around the world. Thank you for joining us, and see you on your next adventures.